You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Good morning, everybody. This is Get It Right Texoma, and I'm Terry.
And I'm Trey.
And we're just two of the trio. We got Mike hanging out,
right
always keeping an eye on us. And so
there, it's kind of we're going backwards there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
That's like the weatherman, you know.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so Mike Hendren, he's always there. But anyway, we come here.
We're live every Friday morning.
That's right.
On
come
Facebook
here,
and YouTube.
though, in order to get live, we have to show up.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But yeah,
we stream live stream at 7:30 on Facebook and YouTube.
Yep.
And this morning's guest is Sam Pack.
Sam Pack,
friend of the show, was friend on the radio show and friend of here, and he's been on. I call him Mr. Downtown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's all about, man.
He is. If there's an organization that is good for downtown,
Sam Pack's
going to be somewhere in it. Well, he may not be running it, but he's going to be
I know.
He's
Yeah,
going to be
absolutely.
there.
Yeah. And by the way, it's not for some. I just when I first heard his name or met him, and I was like thinking about there used to be a Sam Pack.
There still is.
There still is. Yeah. He's not the car dealer, and it's spelled differently anyway. But he's we got him here in Wichita Falls.
Yeah, Sam Pack, the car dealer. I think it's P-A-C-K.
Yeah, right.
Traditional. And actually, I think his name is Pock.
Pock, right? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
He it's like one of those deals. He didn't want to explain it, so
okay, goes with the flow,
yeah,
right? So, but anyway, so please like and share and hit the buttons and bells and whatever else that you're
bells and whistles.
Let
your friends know.
Yes,
that's the other side of it. Not just share, but tell your friends. If you like the show, if you watch the show,
well, even if you don't, tell your friends.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we don't care if you like it or not.
But we like to hear from you too. Get online. You can actually, if I'm able to remember to do it, we can see your comments and all of that, and your thumbs ups and all that kind of thing on here. And if you throw a comment up, we'll talk about it. And maybe. Yeah, we might. Yeah, we have to
make it clever.
Yeah, we have to be the call or the text screener. Yes. So, but anyway, let's get into it. This is Get It Right Texoma.
That's right. As always, we start with our local restaurant focus, and this is a restaurant that has been around a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years they've been around, but I'm going to say from the maybe early 90s, maybe even the late 80s. Don Jose Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, just that seems like Don Jose.
Yeah, it is. It's a very
Ricardo Montalban. Yeah, Don Jose.
It's you think they've got rich Corinthian leather in their seats there?
Yeah, probably do. But apparently they have great margaritas.
They do. They have really. Apparently, so I'm not a big drinker, but they do. They were very well known for their big fishbowl margaritas, but they have good food as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really good. Their tacos I love their tacos. Their tacos are very good. So they're in an old Dairy Queen, but you wouldn't know that because that used to be a Dairy Queen.
We're talking about the one at corner of 9th?
Yeah.
Or 9th, is it?
Yeah.
Right
where, that was a Dairy Queen.
Kemp. Okay, wow.
Yeah, the corner of 9th and Kemp.
You can always tell. Usually you can tell.
That's what I'm saying. You can't tell that it was a Dairy Queen.
They gutted
when
it.
When it first opened, it kind of did look like it. But they've added on, they've gutted it, they've put a new facade on it. But no, that was a Dairy Queen at one time.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
All right.
But so you can look, they've got like a typical Mexican restaurant, they got a lot of choices. That's the nice thing about Mexican restaurants, and one of the reasons they can have a lot of choices is because there's like 5 basic ingredients. Tortillas, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and shredded beef, and you got 5 basic, and then some chicken. Yeah. Don't have a lot of ingredients, and you could just take those ingredients and make a lot of different things with them.
Right.
But they've been there, like I said, a long time, very good food, nice people, local. Yep. I think they actually have one in Duncan, Oklahoma as well.
Oh, okay.
So if you're in Duncan, if you're watching us from Duncan, Oklahoma, go see Don Jose's there. So go check them out. Don Jose's Mexican restaurant.
Right. And do they have, let's see, I'm trying to find the hours here. Here we go. Let's see. You have to check on their Facebook.
They're on the corner of Kemp and 9th.
Right. But they're open for lunch most every day during the week for sure.
And they're open. I don't know that they're open for breakfast. I know they're open for lunch and dinner.
Right.
They may just be a lunch and dinner. I'm not sure if they do breakfast.
Yeah. Well, all right. We'll go check them out.
Check them out.
All right.
Don Jose. Okay. Now, there will not be a renaming ceremony at the park for Eddie today because
concerned about the weather. Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be postponed. Probably not next week. Probably the following week, and we'll bring that to you. Right. But it is time next week. Speaking of next week, next Saturday we got 2 big events going on next Saturday. The annual McGruff Dog Show or not talk show, car show. McGruff, the Crime Dog car show is going to be Saturday, March 14th at Herb Beasley Motors, right there on the highway, from 8 to 1. Registration setup is from 10 to 8. And for more information, you want to contact Artie Woods, Mr. McGruff himself, at 940-642-3761. Or just Google search McGruff, Wichita Falls, Artie Woods. You'll get it. Yeah. But they usually have a really big car show, lots of raffles and lots of door prizes and that sort of thing. Lots of people show up. And, if you don't, even if you're not a car aficionado, just going to a neat car show and walking around. My daughter is not a car nut. And she was out somewhere and there was a car show and she just walked by and she's like, this is really cool. These are pieces of art. She's not going to go buy one. But she took her time to stop and look around at it. And most of the time, people who take their cars to these car shows are really good people. They like to talk to you about their car. They're very into this thing. Right. I mean, you don't have $50,000 tied up in a 1973 Camaro, right? Unless you're way into it.
Right. So this is a car. So there's the car show, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is it his? Is it the dog McGruff's, or is it named after him?
It's Artie is McGruff. Yeah, right. McGruff the Crime Dog. Right. Artie Woods has McGruff the Crime Dog kind of franchise in Wichita Falls. Right. At one time, and I don't know if McGruff the Crime Dog is still national or not. At one time, it was. Right. And I think you almost kind of franchised it or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So here, this is I was just pulling it up. We're not showing it. Oh, that's all there is, really. Okay. So 10 to 2.
10 to 2 at Herb Beasley Motors. I'm sorry.
Lone Star.
8. No, that's old.
That's old?
You're not. Listen to me. Don't look.
No. Okay.
Lone Star muscle cars doesn't even exist.
No, that's true. Yeah.
From 8 to 1. Registration from 8
Herb Beasley.
All right. Also, downtown Wichita Falls, the St. Patrick's Day parade or festival is downtown, and it's a full day of live music, community, and St. Patrick's Day tradition. And this year, Red Farron is going to be the headliner. That is a big name. I know you said you don't know who it is, and that's fine. But he's got a really cool song called "Just Like Johnny, Baby."
Okay.
Johnny Cash.
Okay.
So, but he's not just a little local artist. He's a very big name. And he's going to be the headliner, and they're going to have multiple bands there and playing all different music and stuff. It's right there. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
And it is downtown. Follow the crowd. I don't know exactly where they're going to be downtown.
Let's see.
8th Street and Indiana Avenue. So basically it's where the farmers market.
Okay.
Yeah, the original farmers market is.
Okay.
So, anyhow.
So have all that stuff, just another thing to do.
Go check them out. Okay, well, I guess the big news for this week is there's a little something going on in the Middle East right now.
Yeah.
The United States has attacked Iran and Israel. The United States and Israel and combined forces have attacked Iran. They killed the Ayatollah Khomeini and many top leaders.
It's changed. It used to be Khomeini, and now it's
Khomeini.
It's some Ayatollah has been taken out. But
the fact is, I think it's ironic that I texted you because we talked about that on this show last week, and then the next day they started bombing. Yeah. I'm not saying President Trump watches and Pete Hexus watches the show. I'm just saying, no.
Yeah,
no. It was Stevie Wonder could see that this was going to happen.
Well, yeah, they just they were done, and apparently enough. It's like
when you try diplomacy over and over and over again, and there were reports last week, and that's the reason I kind of brought it up. There were reports kind of late last week that Steve Witkoff and the people who were trying to do Jared Kushner that were trying to do the negotiations, I think they were in Geneva, and it kind of broken down. It's like, enough is enough. And the Iranians, they poked the bear in 1979.
Oh, yeah. That was the
was it 78?
I think it started in 78, but it was the 80 election, so it was just after or right before he took office in January of
literally the day that Reagan took office.
So it was 1981 that when
so 79 I think is when they took hostages. They held him for over a year, and the day that Ronald Reagan was sworn in, they released the hostages.
He had been probably working some back channel stuff, but at the same time knowing that this is a different president than
Carter.
Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of
So
was passive about it.
there are no ground troops. And by the way, what pisses me off so much is when our military starts military action, for these politicians to go out there and start trashing the whole action right off the bat.
Yeah.
Give it a minute. Trump says he doesn't want to be in a forever war. It's been 3 days, 6 days.
No, it's like they're already saying, "Oh, another extended Afghanistan."
That's what I'm saying. It's like you're so full of shit.
Well,
Everybody, to me, I know you don't like the Orange Dragon, Big Orange Man. I know you don't like him. That's fine. I don't care. But I do like our military. Yeah. Whether I agree or like Donald Trump, I never bitched when Barack Obama or Joe Biden had any sort of military action.
Yeah.
When our military, when the president of the United States decides we need to take some military action, then we've got to give them the grace and the leeway. They're the elected official. They know way more than you about this subject.
Right.
And you have to give them the grace. Now, that doesn't mean 6 months from now, 10 months from now,
right,
we got troops landing over there. Now we can start having a discussion about that.
Well,
but right now, all they're doing is bombing the shit out of them, and taking care of a lot of their taking a lot of their capability out. So let it ride for a little while and see what happens.
I think we've almost gained, if not already gained, air superiority right now. We have
superiority, yeah.
Right, we got it because there's a lot going on now. Unfortunately, Kuwait shot down friendly fire on a couple of our aircraft.
Maybe we need to go drop a bomb on them too.
Well,
No.
They were in coordination. They definitely admitted
they need to investigate that.
Oh yeah.
But what I think is crazy is Iran, instead of going to the Middle East and go, "Oh, brothers, we're all Muslims," and blah blah blah, they started shooting at Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and they're going, "I hold my beer. I'll just show your ass."
Yeah.
You start messing with all those countries, they got tons of money.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll just start dropping bombs on you too.
Yeah, and they have F-15s, and I think Kuwait has. Does Kuwait have F-15s? I know Saudi Arabia does.
Yeah, that's what they've got. Plenty of.
So, they got a lot of firepower.
Now, then also there's a bunch of Kurds, Kurds from Iraq who stormed into Iran.
Right.
So we'll kind of see how that goes.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, and this is when I am going to give Donald Trump credit on this, because he has basically told the Iranian people, we're not coming. We don't want to come in there and occupy you guys.
Right.
You guys have been protesting. You guys have been saying you want to change. We've basically started it. Now it's up to you to finish it. And we'll see where it goes.
And by the way, Trump didn't start the whole Afghanistan thing either. I mean, he did continue. I mean, he wanted out. But I don't remember all the details of why in his first 4 years, why we didn't get out of there.
He was supposedly negotiating things. A little bit of it is, and this is with every president, and I said this about Biden too. You can't go, day one, why didn't you fix that?
Right.
They can't fix everything first day.
No, absolutely not.
You got to give them, but a year or 2 years into your presidency,
right.
Yeah, you kind of own what's going on.
Right,
now.
but don't do what Biden did and just decide, boom, and get out of there just so quickly. That needed to be. That
was one of the most disastrous.
That could
we ever did.
Our military, if you have one thing if you had to pick the top thing that they're so good at, it's called logistics.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And this
military logistics are the biggest logistics experts in the world.
This goes all the way back to the Berlin airlift. Also, I mean that's an awesome example of logistics. My God, if you read up on that, they were constantly 24/7 for I forget the length of time, but they didn't have It was a short flight, but if you didn't land. If you, for whatever reason, you missed your approach, you went back home.
Right.
But they didn't have time. They were constant landing and taking off and landing and taking off. But that was a logistics, an awesome logistics exercise. They've just absolutely and so we are good at getting out and getting to places. Yeah. And Biden, the rush of that just
Well, here's the thing about this Iran thing. I'm sorry.
Yes.
First off, they deserve it. The government deserves it. Yeah. They've done this stuff. They've picked it. They've picked it. Okay. At some point, when you're the big dog, you can let somebody pick and give them grace, but at some point you can't give them grace anymore.
Yeah.
Especially when you've tried and tried and tried. Okay. So they've picked it. They're getting what they deserve. The Khomeini and all them. I'm glad their leaders are gone. They've been the number one sponsor of terror in the world.
Yep.
And then hopefully the Iranian people can rise up here and get their country back. Iran at one time was a very prosperous country, and women had rights and stuff like that. And then when the Sharia law came in, they lost all their Khomeini and them. The women went to become second class citizens. Part of this is for that reason.
Yeah.
It's not just the women, but it's all of them. But that's part of it. But my point on this is, look, we all know that Donald Trump's a narcissist.
Oh yeah.
So, do you think that Donald Trump would let his ego, when he sat and said, we're not going to have forever wars, do you think he's going to let his ego get us into a forever war?
Well, there are people who think so, but yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
And by the way, give them a chance. It's like everybody. Give them a chance. Give them their leeway they deserve. Just like Obama, just like Bush, just like Biden, they deserve the lead. Now, by the way, Biden shit the bed with that Afghanistan withdrawal.
Yeah.
But at first, I was giving him the leeway of he's taking an action.
Right.
So far, I don't think they've had a misstep. And by the way, these lawmakers are going out and they're saying, of course, the Democrats, the people on the other side, the leftists are going out there and they're saying, there's no plan. There's no plan. They're not going to tell you their plans. They can't. That's not, and they shouldn't tell you your plans. You can't. You've shown that you can't be trusted. You can't be trusted with information.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and
we want to keep the number one goal is keep our military people safe.
Absolutely.
On this, while I guess the number one goal is the mission, because when you join up for the military, you do accept a level of risk.
Well, there's always risk.
But we need to keep the people as safe as possible while.
Well, yeah. Okay. So in the Air Force at one time, I don't know what the latest terminology they're throwing around, but it was operational risk management. Okay, right. That was practiced. Everything. Nothing's perfectly safe. Even if just during peacetime and you're just at your base.
Walking outside your car.
Yeah.
Your house.
So operational risk management, that's what they did. But when it comes to all of that, they're gonna put in place countermeasures or not countermeasures, but mitigations to help with that. And so that's why you get extra security. That's why they go to DEFCON whatever level, and right. they just bring up things and up the ante a little bit on this whole safety and security, and that this is kind of the way it is.
Yep.
So.
Okay, well, so let everybody take a breath.
Yeah.
Let the military do what the military does, and let's see how this goes.
Yeah. So.
And there is plenty of time, and I will be one of the first ones to criticize if I think it's going too long and there's no plan. Yeah. There's plenty of time to do it, but 6 days in, you can't start saying forever war. There's no troops on the ground.
Right.
There's no troops in the air heading that way that we know of.
Right.
Come on. So, anyhow. All right. Election results. We had some elections in Texas.
Did we?
Yeah.
Only 6% or something showed up in Wichita County, but hey,
Well, so local election results, there will be a runoff for county judge between Rick Hatcher and Mark Dora. Neither one of them made the 50%.
Right.
Sheriff William Rutledge, who took over as sheriff when David stepped down about, 6 months ago or so.
Okay.
He won in a landslide. Okay. Wichita County Treasurer Steve Jones won his seat back. Wichita County Commissioner Precinct 4 Jeff Watts won his seat back. And by the way, Jeff's a really good guy. So, and then Archer County, one of our neighboring counties, we call it kind of the tri-county area because Wichita Falls sits and literally
Arc, right?
Arc, I guess. No.
Archer.
Clay and Wichita?
No.
That'd be Aura.
Never mind.
There
was, I saw somebody had it. Anyway.
I'll look. Yeah, anyhow.
Yeah, all right.
So Archer, Clay, Wichita, and Wichita Falls sits right there on the county line.
Right.
Stuff like that. So in County Judge Randy Jackson retained his seat. Precinct Commissioner Justin Coleman retained his seat. And Justice of the Peace Kyle Morris retained his seat. Okay. And then in Clay County, there was a couple of new commissioners. Commissioner Precinct 2, Mark Matthews is now their new commissioner over there. Jack Pritchett did not run. He's the current commissioner and chose not to run. But then there was a runoff between Chase Broussard, who was a county commissioner, and Matt Kelton. And Matt Kelton beat Chase Broussard by 9 votes.
Okay.
9 votes. If you don't think your vote counts, it does in small elections.
Yep.
And of course, on the in the U.S. Senator seat, there would now be a runoff between John Cornyn and Ken Paxton, which I'm glad I wanted Wesley Hunt to win. I voted for Wesley Hunt, and I think he would be the best candidate, but obviously he didn't win. But I think what he did is he put this into a runoff, which it needed to be.
Right. Well, and I think he's gotten a little more exposure. So hopefully next time. Or
you're saying he exposed himself? I don't think that's good. So anyhow, we'll see what happens here. But I think if you're a Republican, I think you want, whether you like John Cornyn or not, I think you want John Cornyn to win because Ken Paxton's got a ton of baggage.
Yeah.
Recent baggage.
Yeah.
And I think the Democrats and the Democrats are elected James Talrico, who he's not as moderate as he acts.
Right.
But he ain't Jasmine Crockett.
Well, I heard on the radio this morning that they call him basically Beto with a Bible.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's some things that he's taking stances on that are very strange in my opinion, very, very, very liberal. But overall, I think he's much more of a centrist than Jasmine Crockett.
Right.
And I'm glad he beat her.
Right.
Of course, by the way, did you see that she lost because the Republicans cheated?
Oh, that's right.
She lost in the Democrat election.
I haven't read what her justification of that.
She said,
"Did a bunch of Republicans go vote in just?"
That's what she's saying. They focused on Dallas County, and you all know why. So in other words, she's full of shit.
Well, but even then, what is there anything illegal? I mean, I'm not suggesting people do this, but
there's nothing illegal about it. It's just it happens.
Yeah.
So anyhow, so she's not in there. So James Talrico will be the Democrat nominee, and
Ronnie Jackson.
Ronnie Jackson did win.
90%.
Yeah,
wow.
It was 90%. That's pretty much a landslide.
Now, so who's he going up against?
I don't know.
No,
I don't even.
We don't even know.
I'm sure there's going to be a Democrat, but I didn't even see the results of the Democrat because it was his landslide victory there. So, okay, a couple more quick things. One on a local note.
The
Wichita Falls ISD held a press conference yesterday and announced that the state will not take control of the WFISD.
Yes.
And of course, we've had Donnie Lee, the superintendent, with us several times. And I think that they're doing great. They're doing a lot of neat things. Mm-hmm. Look, they struggled for a long time. There's been some struggles, and there's a lot of reasons why there's struggles. But when you're making strides, let's give them a chance to make strides. I didn't like the idea of the state coming in. I don't like the state taking over. I understand if there's mass fraud, it's like nefarious actions are happening. I can understand the state taking over them because there's a lot of money.
Right.
When you talk about $129, $130 million. But that's not what this was.
No.
This was kids struggling in some schools.
Right. Well, and in this case too, there was proactive measures taken right when, and they're like, okay, identify.
Well, not right when. That's the problem. They didn't do it fast enough. And I'm going to be critical about that.
Well, I'm talking about, since Donnie Lee?
Yeah.
Man? Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, he has to still get board approval on a lot of stuff. So
but I mean I don't think he went to the board and said I want to go do all this, and the board said no, we're not doing it.
Okay.
No, the board and Donnie Lee, they are culpable.
Okay.
In not taking action fast enough. I'm just going to be honest about that.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
They should have taken. Well,
you've been in that.
They should have taken. They should have. And it's hindsight. I'm not saying I would have done anything different. By the way.
Right.
So I'm not here playing armchair quarterback and Monday morning quarterback. I'm just simply saying, when you look at hindsight, they should have taken this turnaround school action. They should have done that 2 years ago.
Okay.
Or 3 years ago. They got in a pickle, and they were in a pickle, and they refused. The district did not redraw lines. They could have done that to help the situation. They didn't do it.
Right.
So anyhow,
okay.
it's that. But I'm not shitting on anybody. I'm not saying I would have done different. So I'm not.
Okay.
I hate that guy.
Yeah.
The person who says I would have done. I don't know what the hell I'd have done.
Right. Well, and sometimes it is harder to look at out from the outside and looking in, because a lot of times you don't know until you get in that situation.
That's true.
So there's but in the end result is we got the kids taken care of. Right, it seems.
Yeah,
and
they're on the road,
and then we didn't get taken over, so that
which I think is better. So
right.
anyhow,
Okay.
well, good on them,
right.
and I think Donnie has done a great job, and I think he will continue to do a great job, and I think it was a good choice for them to come in.
Right? Can I take a little time real quick? This week was kind of a big week for the Apple folks.
Okay, let's do that before we
so we got we got our guest is that come on over. We can add you.
We need to talk about Chrissy Dombian.
Oh,
yeah.
It wasn't on there.
Okay.
All right.
I just wrote it down.
Oh, real quick. So,
Come on in, Sam.
So Apple came out with some new products this week. They came out with as expected, maybe a lot of you may not have expected it, but the iPhone 17e, it's sort of their lower cost entry level iPhone. And then they came out with new iPad Airs, new models of iPads. And then they also came out with some new MacBook Pros and MacBook Airs, and they came out with a new model, completely new model, is the MacBook Neo. It's a $599 entry level price point. Apple's never.
When you shot at it, it went like this and stuff like that, like the Matrix.
There you go. So it's
That's Neo, isn't it?
It's based on
in the Matrix.
Yeah, well, it's based on the chip that the iPhone. One of the previous iPhones on. That's why they were able to get that price low. But they're going after the Chromebook, and so we will be able to carry all of that. And so just letting you know, all new stuff. So come talk to us, and we'll let you know. So all right, we have our
guest is in.
Yes,
Sam, how you doing?
Good.
Mr. Downtown Wichita Falls, Sam Pack.
I'm not Mr. Downtown.
I think you are, Sam. If there is something going on downtown, not just downtown, but especially downtown, that is a positive thing, you're involved. I'm not saying you're running it. A lot of times you are, but you're in it somewhere.
I try to help.
You don't try to help. You help a lot.
So what's going on with this?
Broke my elbow. So
we're trying. It looks like
I know. Yeah.
Don't make me mad.
Yeah. It was either this or I cut it off and get one of those Terminator hands, and I decided not to.
Well, yeah, but you were saving puppies or something.
Yeah,
I mean, come
I
on.
would love to say that. Anyhow, so how are things going on?
Good. How are you? How you guys been?
Good. I want to talk to you about a lot of things, but the art walk is kind of the one so give everybody a little bit of the history of the art walk. I've been to it a lot of times, but I really didn't know all the backstory.
So the backstory is like back in 2000, I think 2 or 3, I was part of this committee to help revitalize downtown. We met at, I think it's the University Tower way back when.
Right. Can you step?
So,
yeah, there we go.
And then they brought some representatives of the Bass Brothers from Fort Worth, because Fort Worth back in the 70s and 80s was just all boarded up.
Mm-hmm.
It got revitalized, and
Right.
they were talking about using public equity, and so the Bass Brothers came in and deposited a bunch of money and started building it out. So then after that, I became a very big proponent of downtown. And then fast forward a couple years later, I met Pam, and you guys know who Pam, my wife, is. Yeah. And while we were dating, she goes, "Let's go downtown and go look at some art galleries." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I've lived here since '88. I've walked the streets of downtown. I've never seen an art gallery." She goes, "Yeah, and they have free wine." I'm like, sold.
Yeah.
So we go down there, and we met this lady named Janelle. She was the owner or one of the curators for the I think it's 6th Street or 8th Street or 7th Street Studios, 7th Street Studios. And I'm talking to her, and I'm walking around, I'm looking around, these are some really good art. Like this, I'm very impressed. Not like, it looks okay, like really good art. I'm like, man, this is impressive.
Yeah, this isn't some kid finger painting.
Yeah. And I was like, how did I not know about this? She goes, well, we went to, I think, Tulsa or whatever other city, and we're trying to start an art walk here. And when we went, it was like 6 o'clock in the evening, and everything was shut down. This was back when downtown was dead.
Yeah.
Like nothing was open. Iron Horse may have been open a little while, but there wasn't like much happening. And I go, people need to know about this. So I said, hey, Janelle, is it okay if I if we have a meeting and I get some people together that we can start really promoting this? She goes, sure, let's do that. So the next meeting, there was like 4 of us. And we said, okay, what do we need to do? We need to tell all the other art organizations to stay open past 6 or past 7 or past 8. Just push their time a little bit more. And then we need to start knocking on all the businesses' doors and saying, hey, will you also stay open because we're hoping to have people come in. So this took it took a full year before it really started kicking off. Right. And there was a lot of people involved in it by the time that year ended. And so it just, we created maps. We wrote contracts out for all these businesses, and then it grew a little bit that year. I mean, it wasn't that big, and it was very, very art-centered, like a bunch of artists. And we go, well, how do we encourage more artists to come out? So we said, well, put them on the sidewalks, and we'll open up this area. And it wasn't organized at that point. It was just, hey, let's try to bring some people out. And then year after year, it just kept growing. And then Becky Reiki was part of our, ended up joining our committee like maybe couple months after we started. She goes, hey, can I take point on this? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I have, all the free time in the world, if you know my schedule. I'm like, yes, please take it. So she took it, she took point on it, and then she helped it grow more. We got the trolleys in. And then a couple of years later, she goes, Sam, hey, Downtown Development has asked if they can take over Art Walk. And I said, Becky, okay, but I just want to warn you, I don't want it to where it becomes too commercialized or they try to make a profit off it, because I want it to be about the people, about the artists, about people getting together. And she goes, okay. And she goes, well, I'll be on the board when that happens. So, and it did well. The thing is, it started getting really big, which is a good thing, but it could be a bad thing, right?
But you have your infrastructure things. Yeah,
Sure.
That's what people don't understand. You think, I'm going to start this little thing here, and you have, oh, great, you have these dedicated volunteers that are doing it. But the problem is it gets so big, these dedicated group of volunteers can't do it anymore.
Yeah, and so what ends up happening is a couple of years ago, a guy drove a truck down the middle of Art Walk. And so the city goes, hey, we've been letting this all go through and using city property. Downtown Development, you need to get some insurance, because if someone gets run over, or some guy just runs over a whole crowd, there needs to be some kind, and rightfully so. I understand. Sure. It's the city streets, they run it, and we get a waiver, but there was no defined boundaries and there was no blockade really. And so Downtown Development goes, oh, okay. And then a year later, Downtown Development asked the 4A and 4B board for money, and they said, hey, we're changing how we're going to structure our investments for the future. So Downtown Development didn't get any money. Obviously, they had to let go of staff. So then it was just run by volunteers or the board members of Downtown Development. So an art walk is a huge thing. And so it was costing them money to pay for the barriers, pay for police officers, and then it was costing them time. They were setting up stuff. They were cleaning up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And so, and every art walk, it cost, I think, maybe a couple $1,000, $2,000 or $3,000. And then they announced this year, they said, hey, we can't do it anymore.
Real quick, before we get to that point, let's go back. If you had been to Art Walkers, you could see the exponential growth over the years. And it started out with, now where did it start? Where were the kind of the original?
The original point was on 7th Street in Ohio.
Okay.
And then it went all the way down to the farmer's market.
Right.
Okay, that was the initial first street.
But then it's grown.
And it's grown and grown.
When you're out on Scott Street.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've got people on both sides of Scott Street, which is Business 287, by the way. So Scott Street's a major road.
Yeah.
It is Business 287, is U.S. Highway 287, the business side of it. It's grown and grown, and you get down there, and there's just people everywhere, hundreds and hundreds of people, probably thousands of people. So I just wanted to let everybody know that if you'd not been there, or if you had been there in the last year or two, you kind of right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, what you need to know is this started out with a group of people on a small little scale,
sure, yeah.
And then it turned into this huge thing. And then you realize, yeah, you're right. We go enjoy art walking, it's great. But then we get in the car and go to the house.
Yeah.
And start watching whatever, Jerry Springer or whatever, where but anyhow, but there's people down there with brooms and shit like that, shoveling, and that's a different story.
Yeah, when you have 13,000 people show up on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And it's not a special. It's the first Thursday of every month of during the summer times.
Yeah.
It's a pretty impressive amount of number, and I love seeing families walk around, kids and strollers and dogs and people. Just it's a great social melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you walked to Art Walk? Have you been and you go, oh hey, there's Bob. I haven't seen Bob in 3 years. Hey Bob, how's it going? Or and we'll talk. It brings us closer as a community, and so I love that camaraderie that it brings. And yes, it did grow to the part where people were selling stuff that probably shouldn't have been there, like old used clothes and junk. So it just wasn't regulated, right? And so stepping back forth to the downtown development said, hey, we can't do this anymore, and we're sorry. And it wasn't their fault. They financially couldn't do it, and all of them have jobs.
Yeah. By the way, it's Thursday night, and now I got to be at the office at 8:00 in the morning on Friday.
Exactly. So people were like, "Well, it's their fault." I'm like, no, it's what happened. I mean, it's not their fault. They tried. They tried for a whole year without staff and volunteering. So I give them a lot of kudos for doing that. And I'm kind of understanding where 4A and 4B changed the direction. I mean, I understand that whenever, as a financial advisor, I want to look at return of investment, right? So what are we getting in return for this money? And so I understand that too. I understand both sides of the equation. But if you look at it, and so, when this first came down, people were calling me and texting me left and right, say, Sam, how are you going to save this? I'm like, I'm not really involved, but I'll look into it. So I started looking at the sales tax numbers for the city for the 3 and 5 years before Art Walk kicked off and the 3 and 5 years after. And if you look at, and I think I posted it somewhere, like our sales tax numbers were declining in those years before Art Walk. And then during the Art Walk heyday, it actually increased, I think, like 25% or altogether for those 3 years. And they go, well, you can't attribute all that to Art Walk. I'm like, well, then tell me, and I get that, but tell me this. What business moved into Wichita Falls in that time period? What I can tell you was the mall was it was rapidly. And so we were losing, and I attribute all that to sales tax losses. And even in the 3 years after, that includes COVID. So there was a whole year where nothing was actually happened. So if you take that out, I mean, it's done great. So the way I look at it from a finance point of view is this is an investment the city needs to make, because in like a couple of years, they made $9 million. That's just from the city sales tax. That's not including the 4B. We're looking at $300,000. So to have an ask and say, hey, city, make this a community project, have the 4A or 4B, mainly 4B, help put money in to help pay for the insurance, because the city asked for insurance because another idiot drives a truck down. Hey, 4B, you're making money off this. If you spend $20,000, that's better than not making $300,000. Hey, city, if you can donate the trash waivers, the barriers to help set up and take down, and the police officers, that's the big one. We need safety.
Yeah, safety on there.
If you can donate that, and I kind of calculated between $2,000 to maybe $4,000 per Art Walk. Well, $4,000, even if you do it for 8 months, the city's making out like a bandit. So it is something the city needs to do from a financial standpoint. But on top of that, it's a quality of life. I've had several businesses call me and go, Sam, can you save this? Because I can't. The only reason, one of my tools in hiring people is having them do interviews on Thursday, and then afterwards taking them out to the Art Walk so they can see our community.
It's a recruiting tool.
It's a recruiting tool.
That's interesting.
And they said we literally use Art Walk as a recruiting tool so they can see the community, they can see how close we are and what good stuff we have. This is a financial benefit. This has to happen. And so I've held a bunch of meetings. I've talked to, I don't know, maybe 50 people since this whole thing started. I'm having lunch today with someone else too. And I presented it to the city. I went to the city council. I had a meeting at Big Blue, said, hey, here's my findings of it, and here's the financial benefit of it. And they all kind of, they're not wanting to say anything. And I heard last night the 4B had a meeting about getting some bids. And what really, I'm not supposed to know any of this. What really got me upset is that, there's a company out of Dallas that's going to bid on this. I'm like, bid on what? The Art Walk? And why are they bidding? Are we paying them to do this? And are they going to charge a fee for us to get in? Are they like, what is the structure of this going to be? My heart was, I wanted an arts organization to take this over.
Right.
The Arts Alliance, the Council for the Arts.
Why didn't they?
Because they have to all talk to the board, and it's a huge undertaking. 13,000 people. So during the insurance process, I just now got one quote back I put out 12 quotes. I called 12 different companies who do events. They go, wait, it's every month? And how many people? I said, between 5 to 13, somewhere between some months, maybe less. I mean, if it's raining or 200 degrees outside, you're not going to have very much. But if it's beautiful weather, we can have a ton of people. And they go, well, what are they have all these questions, are alcohol being sold? And so, I mean,
they're underwriters.
Yeah, they're underwriting. They're trying to figure out all the stuff. So it can go as high as like $3,000 to $4,000. I just got a quote back. They said as little as 800, as high as 4,000
Per event or
per month.
per month? Wow.
Per month. Because, I mean,
That's a hell of a ball. That's a huge ballpark. That's not getting you in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Between 800 and 3,000.
Yeah. I mean, I can pull up the email.
Yeah.
And so, and they said, but that's because they quoted for different companies, but all the other companies, they also want more detail. And so we're just starting this process. Even though I've been doing it for like 2 months, we're just trying to find carriers who'll say, yes, I'll look into it and do that. Anyways, I really wanted the Arts Association to take over because on top of that, any arts association can apply for NEA grants, National Endowment for the Arts, where if it's a for-profit company, they can't really do it. And then it takes away from the charm of it really being called an art walk. So if a business comes in and go, hey, we're charging you $5 to go to Art Walk, and by the way, there's all these stores you should visit. That's not an art walk, and that takes away from the charm.
And by the way, I don't know how the hell you could charge that because you can't keep it on Scott Street. You can't block Scott Street off.
I know. So the logistics aren't there.
It would be a real tough.
So I'm hoping a local agency will take it over. And the last I heard, it is kind of heading towards that direction. So I think that's a good thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know enough about it myself, but I thought about that. It's like, well, if somebody's specializes in that kind of thing, now what are the details, right? Yeah. Are they going to want to charge a fee?
Yeah, but I still don't want some outside agency coming in and doing it. I want someone who knows it, who loves it, who cares about it. Because we all know when someone cares about something enough, they'll do the right thing.
Right. Well, and there's a balance somewhere in there too, depending on how much time you've already been involved and other people, all these volunteers and all of that in the past. And so at some point it needs to become a professional thing. I mean, that's what you're saying is if it was one of you're talking about one of the organizations who is established, has full-time employees.
Professional. Because I mean, I think there's a charm to it, right?
Well, I don't mean professional. No, it becomes somebody's job who's paid to do it. That's become professional. Is what I mean.
Professional running of it.
Right.
So I wrote a business proposal and I showed it to the city. I said, look, here's what I would like to see happen. I'd like to see all spaces be 10 by 10 booths. We create an app that you can geolocate and reserve a spot. If you want more than one space as an artist, you have to pay for the second space. So we're trying to encourage small, like you get a free booth for one person, for one artist.
Right.
For this space. You want more, you have to pay for the second or third, and the max you can get is 4. The last thing I want is one artist take off an entire block. Go, this is all my stuff.
Or some massive popcorn company to come in from the Metroplex.
So anyone who's selling anything but art, whether it's food or retail, they get charged per space, and it's not much. I think it was like $20 or $30 or whatever the nominal fee is, and then obviously it gets more expensive as you buy more spaces. Right. And through that modeling could pay for an event coordinator.
Sure.
But I would still ask the 4B to pay for insurance. I would still ask the city to help pay for police officers and for the roll-off, or to waive the fees to have the road blockage and to get all that stuff. So, and the way I look at it, it's a plus game. If they do those things, they're still going to be in the positive as far as financially.
Right.
I know it's a constraint, and I know that we are severely lacking in police. I get that. But to say no because we can't spend $30,000, the city's going to lose $500,000 or $1 million, that makes no sense to me.
Right. Well, what about sponsors?
I don't like that modeling. I think that sponsoring modeling ends up becoming very commercialized. I think people sense that, right? I mean,
yeah, but you can that's how you write it. I would imagine that you could,
I mean, I get that.
Because if somebody's willing to pony up some money and and maybe small sponsors, a whole bunch of smaller sponsors, that ultimately it's okay. Here's my
It's not sponsored by Pfizer, right?
Right,
We're
right.
talking about-
Yeah.
we're talking
Viagra,
about-
come downtown.
Yeah.
Everything's looking up.
But okay. So
It's
anyway,
a hard day.
so anyway, what I'm kind of getting at
We're gonna play
is
improv.
so if a baseball team or a whatever comes to you, or the team, they're selling shirts all the time. You're not
Sure.
You're not going to sponsor that because you think you're going to make any money on it. You're doing it because, and so it's $100 or $50 or sell a subscription for the whole season.
To be like it becomes like super sponsored, like you see big banners.
No. But
cars and parked in the middle of the street.
No. I'm talking about but I think it's kind of like taxing. It's if you put all the tax on one part of the population, they don't have anything in it, and so but it's put on this big part of it. But if you spread it out, spread the tax out a little bit. Everybody has something in the game, and if you make it small, it's easier for me. Even though I'm not downtown, heck, I'd if you gave me some sort of credit for sponsoring for $100 or whatever it is, $500 for the season. I don't know, whatever it is.
That's great.
I just heard Terry said he wants to take over and sponsor and run the whole thing. Did you hear that?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, this is democracy. I vote for yes. You vote
Yep.
yes. 2 and 3.
I've been voluntold
You're
then.
voluntold.
Okay.
I need to
Peer
also
pressure.
with me. So
There.
no. So anyhow, so where are we right now with Art Walk?
So the 4B met yesterday. They went through an executive session. They're going to talk about it. There was one company locally that made a bid. The other company from Dallas didn't show up, from what I heard. So I'm not sure if they already proposed it. And this was so they're supposed to meet, and then the next city council next Tuesday they're supposed to make an announcement. It just kind of befuddles me how the city's saying, okay, we're in charge of it now, whenever it was never reserved in the first place, but they're assigning and giving these bids. And I think they're doing that because they're saying, hey, we'll give money if we do it through this process. But I think it would have been nice to have people who haven't been invested and know how the system works to have those conversations.
Right.
Instead of unilaterally saying this is how we're going to run it.
I understand that. I think what we have to do, but the fact of the matter is, though, just being objective, going from the other side here, the opportunity was there and nobody stepped up and did it. Quite frankly.
Well, I know I offered. I said if no one wants to take this over, me, and because I also in the Hub in North Texas, I'll run it because I want it to stay alive. And I don't make any profit.
Why can't you just do it then?
Well, because I was asking for the city to take some ownership because they benefit from it.
Right. No, I understand. No, I don't. I'm not discounting what you're saying. What I'm simply saying is, though, why couldn't you have just automatically done this before the city got involved, and then said, "Okay, city, I want you to be involved in it."
Honestly, I was hoping for the nonprofit boards to,
but they didn't do it.
Well, not saying they didn't. They're still. It takes. You have to have board meetings. You have to have votes. You have to have.
I don't take that long to have. I disagree on that. There's been time.
Okay.
There's been time.
Sure.
No, I'm not saying I'm for this. I would love for it to be exactly what you said. I would love for it to be exactly what you're talking about. But I guess my point is there has been time for somebody to step up. There's been time for the Arts Alliance or whatever to step up and raise their hand and say, we want to do this. And they hadn't done it.
Well, but there has to be an impetus at some point. I mean, you don't.
This is 2 months ago. I mean, all this happened 2 months ago.
I know, but you can get a board meeting together faster than that. But my point is, I'm not saying.
I can get a quote in 2 months. How are they supposed to make a decision on what it's going to actually cost?
Whether they take a decision, say we want to do this.
To make a decision, you have to know your facts first. You have to find out. I would want to know before, like, what would cost me.
If you're worried about somebody else taking it over, then you say, okay, we're going to do it. And then if you can't do it, you can't do it. You kind of say, this is our plan. We're going to plan on doing this and taking over. But so I think what happened was it kind of got left up to the city right now. And I'm not saying I'm going to do it right. I don't get me wrong.
I hope it goes well. I just want it to go to be run well and to have the same charm that it did before.
And I hope, and my hope is to the city that whatever they do get people like yourself and the people that are involved in some of the decision making. If they're kind of coming up with the overall plan, but the decisions on everything else, I hope that they bring everybody in.
Well, this sounds like, would this be appropriate to have a committee specifically for Art Walk committee? Does that exist yet?
That'd be a great idea.
I'm just saying, I don't know. I mean,
Have you, just out of curiosity, have you pitched that to the city?
I have. Yes, I wrote a
committee.
I wrote a whole paper, went to the city
The
council.
committee. You know, I understand
Yeah,
that part.
yeah,
But that was Sam Pack doing that, right? What I'm saying is, as a group, I'm for this. I'm for you doing this. My point is, I wonder if going to the city and saying, we would like, there's a group of people who would like to be involved in the decision making on this.
I don't want to say what I want. Oh, sorry. It's gonna upset some people, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, and sometimes people are just going to be upset no matter what.
Yeah.
But I also understand you're navigating this, so
the
trust
one thing
you.
I will say, and I want to be very clear and let everybody know, I know Sam's heart. You're a good person. You want this to happen. You want it to be very good. You want it to succeed. You're not saying, you're not here going, this is horrible and I want it to fail because I'm not involved.
No, I want it to work.
I know you do.
I don't have any time.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Right.
People said, will you take it over? I said, I
but
probably would not like
Sam,
I would like everyone else to have a shot at it. If it fails through all those other channels, I'll pick it up.
Right.
But
Sam can't do it all anyway. Even if you said I'm doing it, you are not going to be able to do it yourself.
So I would organize some kind of task force and build a volunteer list.
So let me ask you this: what spurred the city to get involved so quickly on it? Then, do you know that? I don't know the answer.
I think the answer is once downtown development said we're not doing it, people started asking questions. So what happened? They go, well, we didn't get funding from the 4B.
Okay.
And the way that people look at that is, well, 4B is a city. It is, but it's a separate corporation that you guys understand how it works. And so they go, well, then it's the city's fault, right? Because the 4B, and they go, well, because the city isn't supporting that. So, and then there was all this back and forth, all this accusation. Well, they failed and they failed, and it wasn't necessarily anyone's individial fault.
It grew as an entity that became something that it wasn't when the beginning, and it was it was so successful, almost too successful.
You outgrew it,
right? And
I think it can still stay very successful,
right?
But now we have to
got to change
regulations and put some boundaries.
It's kicked up into a different class of event. It's become a real important event that has real consequences. It's not just some project. It's now an actual thing. You know, it's a living, breathing.
Telling the story. The art walk started because Pam asked me to go on a date.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
So there you go. So
basically, it's Pam's fault.
It is. So it's Pam.
Yeah.
So go down and get some and wine. Pam and wine.
Free wine. Yeah. Free.
So I'm there.
All right.
We'll see what happens, and hopefully the city. I really do hope that the city will listen. They're going to come up with some sort of plan, but we'll maybe form a committee. That's a good idea.
Right.
I'm going to keep
because it's worthy of that.
Reservations until they make the proposal. If it's something outrageous, then I'm pretty sure the people of Wichita Falls will make note of it. But I'm hoping that they do it and they're doing it in good faith, trying to do the right thing. So I mean,
but even what I'm saying is, whoever makes a proposal, if that happens, I hope that whoever that is, they would help form or allow a committee to be formed to help make decisions, an advisory committee.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens.
We don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
At this point, so we'll have to see who it is. The problem, I agree with you. If it's from somebody from out of town, I think it's going to be a disaster.
Did the city actually put out 4 bids on this, or did this just a couple of these places just said, "Hey, I've got an idea, and here's we'll charge you for it, but here's what it costs a bid."
Don't know.
Okay.
Don't know if an RFP was written.
I don't know how transparent all this has been. So people know I've been kind of on the forefront of this, trying to rally people to get this done, and they've kept me out of it.
Okay, so I was talking to Glenn yesterday a little bit about right before the board meeting.
Yeah.
And Glenn Barham, by the way, he's on
he's the chair of the 4B.
The chair of the 4B, and I was asking him about that, and he says, "Yeah, we think there's somebody going to do this," but I thought he indicated it, or was it this? Are they proposing it to the city or the 4B?
So the 4B was listening to bids.
Okay.
And then once the 4B makes a decision of who they think is the best candidate, then because everything, even though the 4B makes these recommendations, it still has to be passed by city council.
City
Right,
council has
okay,
the
gotcha.
final vote,
So they're going to present it to the city council next Tuesday. That's what they said the last city council. But anything can happen.
Well, yeah.
Right. Well, and I really appreciate your insight on it because I knew that if anybody had the real story of the art walk and the trials and tribulations and their story.
So the real story, it really started with Janelle saying, "Can I?" She asked Rick Graham because she was on the 7th Street Studios. Can I put some art in front of my sidewalk in front of the building? Because she didn't own the building, so she started it, but there wasn't much traction. She was just kind of putting art out on the street, and then wine showed up, and then became 13,000 people.
Pan on wine, yeah. So okay, so what else is going on in downtown and the things you're involved in? Other things you're involved in?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. Big Brothers Big Sisters is doing a basketball 3-on-3 tournament. So, and there's going to be this huge, like 3 or 4 foot trophy. So, bring all your friends. Like it's a 3-on-3. There's 4 players per team. That way, you have one alternate in case someone gets hurt.
Where is it?
It'll be at the Big Brothers Big Sisters building.
Okay.
Another thing.
Where is
on Week Street? I don't know the actual address.
Week Street.
Week Street.
Okay. What part? Where is Week Street? Geographically.
Do you know where the United on Jacksboro is?
Uh-huh.
It's
I actually know where Week Street is. I know somebody lives on it. But my point is just trying to get geographically.
Yeah. Just off of Jacksboro Highway near United.
It's not by the base.
Right.
That's your phone.
Yeah.
I can tell you the address. Right?
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So it's a 3-on-3. When is that going to happen?
March 21st, which is also going to be like, I think Red River Beer and Wine, and there's like 5 things going on that day. But this will be a morning event, and you can win $250 in cash. So that's good. Another thing, there's a golf tournament coming up. Before I say anything, let me make sure I have all these dates correct.
Okay.
So the Big Brothers Big Sisters is at 1526 Week Street.
Right, here, I've got it up on the.
There you go.
There we go. Oh, wrong one. Hang on. Oh, wrong computer. Hang on. I'll have it here.
Terry's a computer whiz. He's got too many things going on. He needs another set of hands.
Yeah. So, but yes, the March Matchness. Yes.
You got to be careful on that. You don't want somebody to sue you. Don't want college basketball to sue you.
Yeah.
And then there's a golf tournament done by Crime. So yeah, I'm on a lot of boards. It's just
Crime Stoppers is a golf tournament.
Crime Stoppers are having a golf tournament. Let me pull up that one. Or you can pull it up.
Yeah, this is a great podcasting, guys.
Yeah. Well, we're not showing. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
So we'll.
Okay, here we go.
Facebook.
March Matchness.
Yeah.
Oh, did they push a commercial? I made a commercial. Let's see if you can see the commercial.
Oh, is that on their Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I wonder if you can show it on this. Can you show commercial?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Do that.
Okay,
I did this in like 15 minutes yesterday.
Well, do you have the link?
Yeah, just go to.
You were there.
Let's go to Sam Pack, or go to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
All right, I got to find that's things to do here. Was it off? Now,
while Terry's looking,
y'all talk. Yeah.
Yeah. Secretary of Homeland Security. Kristi Noem was.
Yeah, she's got until the end of this month.
Yeah, she was moved on to a different position.
Yeah,
which was a creative position. I don't really know what it's going to be. Of course, there's a lot of speculation that the administration was not as happy with her performance as they thought they would be.
I think we're living in let's be honest, the last 20 years we lived in a pretty comfortable environment, and this year has been quite different, tumultuous. But I'm not sure where you guys stand on the Operation Epic Fury, but we all knew that this was going to happen at some point.
Well, Stevie Wonder could see it.
Yeah. And if we didn't take action, I know people going, hey, why are we bombing them? Like, you understand that they killed 40,000 people last year?
You can see the whole first of the show was
okay. I missed it.
And by the way, I texted Terry because last Friday we talked about it. I said, how much time are we going to give Iran before we do something in Iran? And then the next day it happened.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Sorry.
All right, here we go.
Hang on. It's not up there yet.
15-second commercial.
Yeah.
Nothing but a bunch of Asian and white guys trying to play basketball.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let me see if it's playing.
No sound?
There was sound before.
Well, it's playing out there.
Oh, okay.
It's just not playing on our end.
Okay.
Oh, well, it was playing. Damn it. I this is on the fly, so yeah. I think it is playing out over the. We just can't
that's
hear.
got to be good. Right into shirts and skin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have y'all seen the movie A Long Time Polly?
No.
Okay, where they're playing basketball with shirts and no shirts.
Oh,
The
no.
guy's just
Yeah.
super hairy and sweaty and just.
Yeah. No, I've never seen
So
it.
let's a play on that. Because, I mean, we could put banners out all day, but little short, stupid, funny videos. I
It
think
gets attention.
It gets more
It gets
attention. Yeah.
So,
I know. That's cool.
anyhow, so Chrissy Nome, we talked about Iran. This was going to happen. But Chrissy Nome, like I said, looks like she's out. And Mark Wayne Mullen,
Yeah.
the senator from Oklahoma, who is apparently a kind of a certified badass. I mean, the guy's has won 3 professional MMA fights.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Literally challenged the boss of the Teamsters to a fist fight.
We also have an MMA fight coming in Wichita Falls, too. Did you know that?
Yes, I heard. Yeah, they announced that yesterday at the wake up at Empire Graphics.
Yeah.
So
Dang, if I hadn't broke my elbow. No.
yeah,
That's a reason. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna go. Yeah,
but no.
Back.
Yeah.
No, I guess it's the minor leagues of MMA or something.
yeah, it's like
There's a million. Yeah, MMA. You have your UFC
or UFC
which
or whatever
is the top echelon.
Okay,
and then there's
This is-
a lot of smaller promotions under.
right. Well, apparently that's what she described. The whoever from the city that she was talking about it. That then there's a guy that's trying to get back in the big leagues and all that. So
Yeah.
but that's cool.
Huh.
So what's been going on in your world? This is my first time coming here without Mike. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it
We've
is.
just been we've been having fun with this and
You came on before the election, didn't you? Mike wasn't here. Mike. No, it was. Yeah, he was. That's right. Wow. Yeah.
yeah
That's we've kind of
retooled.
we've kind of asked guests about that. It is a. I guess I didn't realize this was your first time since Mike's been gone. So, yeah, it's we're something we're still working through and doing our best to try to hold the fort down and keep the legacy going. His picture's right here.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And every day every show we acknowledge that we're still the trio.
Yep.
Still the trio. So, but yeah, we just the show's been doing really well. We've had great guests. I mean, we.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how many? I don't know how many different guests we've had, but we've
Yeah,
had
I saw
Ronnie
last week's
Jackson.
podcast. Yeah, I saw last week with Downtown Royalty. In fact, since then they got another national post.
Did they
Oh,
really?
okay.
Yeah, like they.
And by the way, you're the one. I was going to let people know. Sam's the one that turned me on to Downtown Royalty.
Because you were on their podcast.
Yeah.
And
So
talking
I just
about-
want to promote good things. I'm tired of people saying that Wichita Falls stinks or whatever. There's amazing stuff. There's something happening there's like 5 things happening every single. Sometimes there's like 10 things happening. And I try to be at all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll stop for like 5 minutes and move on, but there's so much happening. And then I want to promote the good, like the Downtown Royalty making international and national publications. But you've heard the whole saying, you can't be a prophet in your own city.
Yeah.
They could be the Beatles and Wichita Falls go, but they're from Wichita Falls. I'm like, what?
Well,
No,
unfortunately, it does happen.
Yeah.
Bowling for Soup. But the biggest group that ever came out of Wichita Falls, they didn't have great success in Wichita Falls.
And that's why they don't claim Wichita Falls, because we didn't support them.
They had huge success in the Metroplex.
They said, we're from Denton.
Well, Eddie Hill, my business partner, he's finally getting some recognition, but for a long time, Eddie, back when he was racing, the city of Wichita Falls, and I'm not saying the city itself is it, but
the attitude.
The attitude of the people of Wichita Falls in this area were not. Here was a guy on a national stage who was talking about my hometown as Wichita Falls, and
well, but it took Texas Roadhouse to do it when it came in. They put him up on the wall in the back. I'm just saying, Dr. Phil and everybody else. Yeah.
Now,
Eddie Hill and Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
I really, really think that Downtown Royalty, and because I do travel a lot too, and I go see music and venues and bands and all over, they have a unique, you can hear the soulfulness, and not just the singing, but the whole band comes together.
Oh yeah, no, I think they're good.
It is.
I like 'em.
It is very. It's a it's something that's not every band that has, right?
It's rock with soul.
It is a lot of rock with soul. And there's a song coming out. I forgot the name of the song, and he was sharing some of the lyrics with me. I'm like, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the song that just is gonna take you to the next.
Texas Whiskey is my favorite song that they have.
They're working on one that I was allowed to listen to, and I'm like, man, this is gonna be a home run.
Under NDA.
What?
You're under NDA for playing. No, I guess they're not really. You're mentioning it, but
well, anyhow, we appreciate you coming in. We appreciate you talking about downtown and about the Art Walk.
Yeah.
Specifically, give everybody the backstory. That's the thing. I think that's important when you hear all of a sudden somebody says, we're not doing it anymore. And then people are trying to trash them. It's like, hang on. There's a lot going. There's a lot to it. It's not just show up. Yeah, for you to show up and have a good time, that's great. But like I said, you get to go to the house.
But then also all of the social media thing, even though we don't like it, but it's real. That's where some people are trying to get their information, and it's all short bits of information.
Why I stay off of
and
it.
this, but it's unfortunately people want to latch onto that, and they hear, and it's an echo chamber, and it's all negative. It tends to be go the negative way, but this forum here and your opportunity on their podcast at Downtown Royalty, and that was just this is where it comes. You get the facts here straight from Sam's mouth.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that's the facts or not, but yeah.
Well, no, but it is you were there at the beginning.
Right.
And then so knowing the backstory.
And I volunteered for years after that. Like, to clean up the streets. So, I have the original Art Walk T-shirt.
Right.
I was the one who we get on the trolley and go, hey, here's a stop for this, because we wanted to expand it to the Kemp Center for the Arts and to 9th Street Studios. So then we got a trolley to do this turn, and it was kind of a neat to have. And then it's just the whole idea of building upon building. But yeah, it's been I'm praying the city does a great job, and I think most of them are well intended too. But
I think the intentions are good.
Yeah.
So ideally, right now, when would the first? Because I think there's they
talk about April? So
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No
No.
shit. Next week.
I guess there's
talks about it, but again,
I don't see how that could happen.
Okay.
I don't see how they're going to get insurance in that time period, because
right.
Yeah, the insurance quote I just heard.
I think you're probably realistically looking at fall, or maybe next year.
It's sad.
Yeah,
and you know what? Maybe, and someone said this earlier. Is it said maybe the Art Walk needed to go to this point to get it restructured. You can't do it in the middle.
Also, what is it? You get away from it a little bit and you miss it.
Right. Well, maybe we can work out something and get Glenn in here and get their perspective and see what's going on and all that. Like I said, I was just talking to him yesterday. So and again, I don't know enough about it to ask him the hard questions.
Okay, so this one said arranged from $35,000 to $11,000 for the entirety of
season. Okay,
yeah. So that's
a hell of a range.
$11,000, $35,000.
Yeah.
That is from.
And that's just insurance.
Yeah, that's from Higginbotham.
That's just insurance. That's not police. That's not cleanup. That's not anything.
And the structure, right? Like, because usually when you go to art walks, like we have 5 police officers walking together. I'm like, no, we need to have zones. You're part.
Right.
We need to dissuade people from doing stupid things like breaking into cars or whatever idiotic things that are happening out there. Because when you have that many people, you're going to have.
We have a few idiots.
Yeah.
Most people are good people, but you have a few idiots.
Right.
So,
all right. Well, we'll wrap it up here.
Next week, Steve Garner is going to be in.
Steve Garner, yes, and we'll check in with him because he's kind of the pivot point. He knows he knows a lot of people. He's always kind of involved in a lot of things, and so we'll wrap that up. But otherwise, anyway, as Mike has always said, when we wrap it up, is we're going to see you down the road.